lot longer.
Hey, Stephen!
Hey!
We got you! All right, this is great. Okay, so I've already read your bio, so I'm not going to reread it for everyone else. But I do have a question for you that's going to just jump ahead of the question of the night that everyone wants to know.
Sure.
And that's that I noticed you worked on a Bruce Campbell picture. Was that before or after you made A Very Tight Place? And if it was before, was there a sort of a nod to Ash in Evil Dead at the very end when he comes out of the toilet and is just covered? Like, to me, it had that very, very sort of Evil Dead kind of look about it.
Yeah. Well, can you hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you fine.
Perfect. Great. So yeah, I worked with Bruce in 2004. We actually went on a tour with Man in the Screaming Brain. I got to hang out with Bruce Campbell. We went to a bunch of colleges and showed the movie, and it was super cool. And it was only when we were watching the dailies of A Very Tight Place, the jacuzzi sequence, and Ryan, our composer, was like, he looks like Bruce Campbell. He looks like a young Bruce Campbell in Evil Dead. And I was like, he does. So it wasn't on purpose, but it got there.
Well, yeah, it definitely is noticeable, and that was really fantastic. I think Leah wants to ask you the question of the night.
Everyone wants to know what the shit was made out of.
Good question. So we have a variety of poop. So your foundational hero poop, that was made by Catherine Woods. She sculpted it and baked it in an oven and hand painted it. It's a true story. And then the mounds of it were plant fertilizer that we then put blue like goop to do the sanitation, like the blue sanitation. And then we used kind of cardboardish paper that would withstand all the liquid to make the toilet paper. So
wow.
That was our mix.
Did anyone keep the sculpted pieces afterwards for like a mantelpiece or something?
No. So we finished filming right before winter hit in Chicago, and I had the porta potty in my backyard for all of winter, and it had all the poop in it, and it was so gnarly. After sitting there for a couple of months, just snow on it. And so I dragged it out to the alley and asked the garbage guys if they could take the porta potty. And they did. We have a video, and they put the porta potty in the garbage truck, and it smashed it down, and that was the end of the porta potty.
That's a pretty good ending for it, I'd say. Or otherwise it would still be in your backyard at this point, probably.
I considered it. I mean, it has its uses.
Actually, there was someone on the YouTube feed a little earlier that was saying they were having a problem with their neighbor and wondering how much it costs to rent a porta potty. So maybe you could do a little business.
Yeah. Listen, pull out of the garbage truck.
So, I mean, obviously you made a couple of changes from the original story, and I wonder, was that, obviously it was intentional, but what was your motivation behind making it the wife of the fellow instead of the fellow himself as it is in the original story? Was there?
Yeah, so it got down to a question of adapting the material. And, the great thing about Stephen King's stories is he has the time to kind of get into people's heads and work through their motivations. And when you're just on a time crunch for a short film, I just couldn't get to a way where you have these two guys who hate each other, and one guy calls the other and is like, hey, why don't we meet at a construction site? Definitely nothing up, and we'll just sort this out. You'd be like, it's a trap. Why is this guy walking? Everyone knows it's a trap. But if it was a widow, that kind of buys you a little bit. You're like, oh man, maybe things have gone too far. He passed away. We can make amends. It's kind of a different person. You wouldn't see it coming. So that was the first motivation. And then the second was to work with Joette Waters. Joette worked with us in Killer Pinata. So anyone who's seen Killer Pinata, she was the shopkeeper with the hook hand. And Joette's amazing, and we just wanted to work with her again. So this was a good way to do that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Her performance was fantastic. I was kind of actually rooting for her a little bit at one point.
Well, that was our hope. Well, she's a sociopath, but we get her,
For sure. And then again, the style, because I mean, a lot of people have been talking about that. It has a sort of a Tarantino-esque feel to it. There's also that, because of the music, of course, there's a whole Sergio Leone kind of thing that's going on. But like, for me, I really felt, and I said this before you came on, like, it makes the story really pop for me, because in a way it is such a ridiculous situation for somebody to be in. So to kind of play with that, really, I think that really brings it to life in a way. And so what were your thoughts about, like, as you planned that? Is that something that you thought about right from the very beginning, that you wanted it to have that kind of feel, or was that something that just kind of came about?
Yeah, we debated it. Because we were really into Twilight Zone. We thought this was like almost like a very Twilight Zone thing. So we debated one, shooting it in black and white and doing more of like a traditional like Bernard Herrmann thing. And then when we started thinking about it, we're like, no, it's a showdown. We can use that iconography of like, big sunsets and that kind of thing. And it just infused it with an energy that, we're like, this is kind of a midnight movie situation. It's a guy waiting around in poop, trying to get it together. So like Ryan, our composer, was really awesome in figuring out like that sound and going back and listening to a lot of those Sergio Leone scores and bringing it to it. I think he did a great job.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Do we have anything?
We have to read the last haiku. I mean, it's only fair. Everybody's gotten their
Yes,
haiku tonight.
Dairy Public Radio.
Dairy Public
Thank you.
Radio. That's right. Okay, here we go. A bad deal done twice. Don't dump your problems on me. Truly man's best friend. We give a very tight place 5 out of 5 blue chambray shirts.
All right.
Man, I love the ending.
I love it. Don't dump your problems on me.
You guys, this has been, you're at the end. This is it. This is the end of your first day. This is so cool that you put this together. You just running on pure adrenaline right now?
Yeah, and nudes.
I'm sober. Don't drag me into your clown show, James.
I've been having a very good time. Thank you very much. But thank you. No, and thank you for being a part of this and for being our last guest and obviously I'm very curious to know what is it that you're doing now. This is something that we've been asking all of our filmmakers, but when you start strong with something like this, we want to know kind of where this has taken you. So what's on your schedule these days?
Yeah, so next is going to be a short called Boogeyman, a horror comedy short, about 5 minutes. And then this fall, we're going to do a follow-up to Killer Pinata called Bride of Killer Pinata. So we'll start shooting that in September. We'll bring Gillette back. So it's going to work again. And then just chopping scripts, doing the hustle, trying to see if you can get something across. But yeah, so the next big thing will be Bride of the Killer Pinata, which we're going to release next October.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we'll definitely all be watching out for that. And we'll probably send out some links to, I'm sure that Killer Pinata is available elsewhere for people to see, so we can probably promote that.
Thank you. Yeah, it should be everywhere. Tubi, Amazon, Best Buy, there are a lot of areas for it. So
awesome. Great. Well, do we have any last thoughts for our last guests?
I'm clucking and whistling at this point. I'm sure that a lot of our audience is, but you are the sober ones clucking and whistling, you guys. I want to thank you so much for being here. And people are like, it's 9:30 in the morning here. Can we go to bed?
Okay, well, we will let everybody go to bed. But Stephen, thank you so much. And thank you for making the time and the effort to get in so that we could actually talk to you. That's a real treat for us.
Yeah, awesome. No, this has been great. Thanks for including us. This has been awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.